Hello and welcome to Flossmas number 5. That means it's December 5th of 2024 and you are here with the Stitching Owl. Thank you for joining me. I am enjoying making my daily videos and I'm appreciating every one of the comments that is left. Yesterday you did very well and almost everybody identified it came upon a midnight clear beautifully. You'll notice that I'm no longer putting into the comments whether you are right or wrong so that people don't just sort of glance down and say, oh, it's got to be that because Karen said that she was right. So I'm leaving you somewhat puzzled for about 24 hours. Now, just before I continue on, I'd like to say a hearty congratulations to Uplift Stitches for reaching 1,000 subscribers. I enjoy watching every one of your videos and I'm so glad that others agree with me. Now let's get into our Advent stitching. So we're going to begin with the Evertote Roxy Floss Co. Modern Folk Embroidery project, which is a Nordic countdown, and today's sketch is this. So what we see is what looks like a bunch of gnomes learning to skate. They're of course skating outside because it's cold enough to freeze the ice thick in our Nordic region. Now the words at the bottom are not a poem today. They are an invitation to go to Jacob's Flosstubers, so that's Modern Folk Embroidery, where he's going to discuss other mythical creatures from the area. So Jacob never disappoints with his videos. I hope you'll take a moment to watch him. Now today we have Roxy Floss Co. Blue Spruce as our new thread. I love this. So it's gently variegated and it is green with that blue undertone that we can see on our blue spruce trees. I find their names engaging and very accurate at Roxy. So today, this is what my stitching looks like. And indeed, it still looks like we've got a cheerleader here and a cheerleader here. Now, I had a quick note from Andrew, the runner stitcher, who said, Karen, check out at the bottom of your heart. And yesterday I looked and I did not see what he was talking about. Today, as I put my stitch on my board, I went, that's what Andrew's talking about. I have some stitches missing at this point. So this is almost caught up, but not quite because I have a few stitches missing. And I believe it was from like the second day. Thank you, Andrew. I had not noticed. It's amazing what you can miss when you're looking at it. Now, my other Advent project is a tiny Modernist Advent banner. And I said that we would be continuing down the center, and I was right. Now, had I guessed, I thought we were due for something like a candle or a wreath, and I would have been wrong because we got the most adorable gingerbread house. Now, I admit I had a bit of miscounting and I had to frog, but I didn't mind because it just looks so adorable. So I wonder what we'll have tomorrow. I think we have some things coming in here later, but probably continuing down. And this is on the Jade Ada cloth. This one is an 18 count, and I'm using 2 strands of DMC. Now the next thing that I got to stitching on was another Modern Folk Embroidery. It's the Cozy Christmas, and I will definitely be showing you what it looks like when it's fully done. this one is the one that is being stitched on 22 count, Aida cloth that was provided by Deborah. And this is number 115 of variegated red DMC floss. So today when I added my 200 stitches, it was the beginning of the house. There is more house to come, but I am at about 30%. So I'm quite excited. I have a couple of stars to pop in here, and then I will continue on with the rest of my stitching. Now, I did start with Laura of Stitching by the Shore and Amy of Renewing Stitches, Textilly's Spirit of Christmas. And you found yesterday that I fully finished a piece bauble. So that meant the next thing I went to was the Joy bauble. And what I chose to do was not a red this time. I chose to go to a green. And on this one, I have no idea what green it is. Several weeks ago, I got a full bag of miscellaneous floss from one of my fellow stitchers at Stitch It Central. Somebody down the road had passed away, and the family was just trying to figure out what to do with some of the leftover cross-stitch elements. It didn't bother me that I didn't know the exact numbers. I would just have a peek and see if I had enough of a color, and I do. Now this is 32 count Nessie that I'm stitching it on, and this is 2 strands of this green color. This will have a Joy put in gold here. I loved doing these figures down here. So I am really very much enjoying making those baubles, and I'm contemplating making more than 3. And my last project for today is thanks to Erica of Fiber and Floss Canada, where on her first day of a Stitcher's 12 Days of Christmas, she provided us with a free PDF to a Christmas gathering, and I'll put up the full picture here. Now yesterday you found that I had the house done and 1 person, and today I've added a reindeer and 2 more people. I am stitching this with a red JP Coats that was also in that bag of free floss. So on I go with this. This is a 40 count Verdal, stitching 1 thread over, so let me try that again. 1 strand of floss over 2 threads of Verdal. And that covers what I stitched in the last 24 hours. Today we are getting yet more snow here in London, Ontario. I did the trip to Woodstock to see my mother, came back, and wow, the driving was not good, but I am glad I had time with my mother, who will be getting out of the hospital soon. What I'm thankful for today might initially sound a little odd. I am thankful for the seasons. On a day just like this, I once was teaching a lovely young lady, and she was brought to her lessons by her father. And I commented that I wasn't very happy with the weather. I certainly know that Sheila and EJ would not be impressed in this moment with the feet of snow that we have. But this dad ever so gently told me a story that made me rethink my view of these snowy days. He and his wife had been in a Cambodian prison camp where there were no seasons. There was no way to know how much time was passing. Their time there was very long. He was released first, came over to North America, and then came up to Canada, and then was able to send for his wife. And they were given citizenship here in Canada. And it was one of those moments where I thought, yes, I need to be thankful for the seasons that we have. There's beauty in each one of these seasons. The pure white snow is beautiful. It's just a lot and hard to drive in, but I am still thankful for it. And I know that the moisture that this snow provides our farmers when it melts in the spring is essential to the crops that will provide me with food next summer. And now I am going to insert a presentation of, it's a Christmas hymn that I have known for quite some time, but I am not sure how many of you will know it. It is composed in the style of Chopin, so it's very romanticized, but the melody I play out several times in different places of the 4-page presentation. So I hope that if you don't recognize the tune, that you'll take a guess anyway, and that you will enjoy the richness of this composition. And here we go. Day 5 is put to bed, and it's time for me to say goodbye. I will see you tomorrow. Stay well and stitch on.